What if the Flash faced Ahsoka? Imagine this. Barry Allen is running through the Speed Force, lightning and darkness stretching in every direction, doing something he's done 100 times before. Enter the Speed Force. Find the right path. Get home. Simple. Except this time, something feels wrong. The lightning around him shifts direction without warning, and a strange blue light appears ahead of him, expanding, shaking the entire Speed Force around him. Then a voice echoes through the darkness. Run. Barry turns. Who said that? The ground disappears beneath him, and he isn't falling down. He's falling somewhere else entirely, shot out of the Speed Force like a bullet and crashing hard into dirt. He rolls several times before finally stopping, gets up, and looks around. No buildings, no cars, no central city, just trees, mountains, and two suns hanging in the sky. Okay, he mutters, staring up at them. Definitely not Kansas. He taps his communicator. Cisco? Iris? Nothing. He tries to call on the Speed Force, and lightning explodes across his hands for a second before vanishing completely. Barry freezes. No. He tries again. Nothing. For the first time in a long time, Barry Allen doesn't know where he is. But he knows one thing for certain. He's not on Earth. Not his Earth. Not any Earth he recognizes. Then he hears something. A ship passing overhead. A sleek shuttle disappearing behind the mountains. Barry has no idea what it is. But someone inside it already knows exactly what just happened. Ahsoka Tano feels something ripple through the Force. Something that isn't Jedi, isn't Sith, isn't anything she's ever encountered before. Something moving impossibly fast. She lands her shuttle, steps out with both white lightsabers hanging at her side, closes her eyes, and listens. The forest is quiet. Too quiet. Then a branch snaps behind her. Ahsoka opens her eyes and spins instantly, both blades igniting in a single fluid motion. Barry raises both hands. Whoa, okay, that's aggressive. Ahsoka doesn't answer right away. She studies him, the red suit, the strange symbol on his chest, no blaster, no visible weapon, and yet the Force is practically screaming a warning at her. Not because he feels dangerous, but because she simply can't read him. Who are you? Barry Allen. Are you a Jedi? Barry glances at the lightsabers. No. Sith? Definitely not. Ahsoka lowers one blade slightly. Then what are you? Barry can't help the small grin. I'm the Flash. Ahsoka waits for something more. Nothing comes. Should I know what that means? Barry looks almost offended. Wow. She takes one careful step forward. Barry takes one step back. Look, I really don't want to fight. Then don't. I wasn't planning on it. Good. A beat of silence passes between them, and then Ahsoka attacks without warning. Barry vanishes. Her lightsaber cuts clean through empty air, and she spins, finding nothing there. Then his voice comes from behind her. You could have warned me. Ahsoka turns sharply. You were warned. By what? The Force. Barry actually laughs at that. Okay, that's going to take some explaining. She comes at him again, and this time Barry runs, the whole forest exploding into motion around them, leaves tearing into the air, branches snapping under the sheer force of his speed. Ahsoka swings once and hits nothing, swings again and hits nothing. Barry appears beside her, then 10 feet away, then directly in front of her, faster than her eyes can properly track. Then, just as suddenly, he stops. She stops too. You can't hit me, he says. Ahsoka studies him calmly. I don't need to. Barry frowns. What does that mean? She closes her eyes, and the Force settles around her like still water. Barry feels something immediately, a presence, not touching him, not chasing him, just watching. His expression shifts. You're reading me. Not exactly, Ahsoka says. You're predicting where I'm going. You're not the first fast opponent I've fought. Barry can't help a small, proud smile. Yeah, but I'm probably the fastest. Ahsoka raises both blades. Then show me. Barry disappears, and this time Ahsoka doesn't move at all. He races around her 10 times, 20, 50, 100 times, faster than sound, faster than sight, and still she waits, perfectly still, until she finally turns and her blade is already exactly where he's about to be. He phases straight through it, and Ahsoka's eyes widen as he reforms behind her. That's cheating. You ran through my lightsaber. Yeah. How? Barry just smiles. Long story. She attacks again, and this time he phases through every single strike until she finally changes tactics entirely, throwing her second lightsaber straight at him instead of swinging it. Barry catches it out of pure instinct. Whoa. The blade hums in his grip, and Ahsoka yanks it back through the Force before he can even react. He lets go, and it flies straight back into her waiting hand. Barry stares. "You can do that too?" She says nothing, and Barry realizes what he's actually up against, not just a sword fighter, but two systems working in perfect tandem, the force predicting and the blade attacking, and he can't simply overwhelm both at once. He waits, letting Ahsoka come to him, ducking and sidestepping her first two strikes before catching her wrist on the third. She answers with a burst of force energy that sends him crashing through a tree. "You are powerful," she says as he gets back up. "So are you," he admits. Then her comm crackles. "Hera," warning that Thrawn's people are moving. Barry has no idea who Thrawn is, but Ahsoka's tone makes it clear he's about to find out the hard way. The Empire's remnants are far from finished, and Barry, still not understanding the Force any more than Ahsoka understands the Speed Force, has already been noticed by exactly the wrong person, Grand Admiral Thrawn, who reviews the footage of 3 times and decides not to eliminate him, but to understand him instead, sensing correctly that Barry's instinct to save everyone is a weakness waiting to be exploited. On Cetos, Sabine sizes Barry up with open curiosity. Not a Jedi, not a Mandalorian, just fast, right before TIE fighters descend and prove exactly how fast. Barry disarms an entire squad before they can blink, catches a missile midair and throws it back, and yanks Sabine clear of a strafing run. Then Shin Hati drops him with a lightsaber strike from behind. He gets up, adjusts, and this time outpaces her force sense entirely, tapping her down without killing her. "You didn't hurt her," Ahsoka notes. "I don't kill people." Barry replies. "Baylan's skull is a different problem entirely. Pure overwhelming power instead of speed, and a force grip that lifts Barry clean off the ground, taking away the one thing he's always been able to rely on." He remembers he doesn't need his feet to escape, phases straight through the hold, and lands ready to finish the fight, until Ahsoka stops him. "He's not our enemy," she says. "Not yet," Baylan answers, and walks away. Barry doesn't understand it, but Ahsoka explains simply. "Sometimes the Force tells you a fight isn't yours." "I save people first," Barry says. "Then we're going to get along just fine," she tells him. But they're already out of time. The map activates, a path opens to another galaxy, and Barry realizes running home isn't an option anymore. This isn't another Earth. It's a different galaxy entirely, with different physics and a different force, and the speed force that brought him here offers no guarantee it can take him back. Ahsoka offers him a place with the crew until he finds a way, and over the hours that follow, she starts asking the questions that have clearly been building. What the Speed Force actually is, whether he can travel between galaxies, no, and whether he can travel through time, yes, which visibly unsettles her. Then the sky changes. Thrawn's return begins in earnest, and for the first time in longer than she can remember, Ahsoka isn't fighting alone. Barry hits the field first, clearing weapons and armor before soldiers even register movement, and for a few seconds it looks like they're winning, until Thrawn steps forward and greets Barry by name, then triggers a distraction, explosions trapping hundreds of civilians, forcing Barry into constant rescues while the real threat slips further away. "He's using you," Ahsoka warns, and Barry finally understands that he can't save everyone by running faster. He has to stop the one person causing the danger. He turns toward Thrawn with everything he's got, only for Ahsoka to block his path at the last second. "Your fight is over," she says. And it turns out Thrawn's escape was exactly what they wanted, buying Sabine and Ezra the opening to cripple his ship from the inside. Barry grins, impressed despite himself, and offers his hand. "Friends?" Ahsoka takes it. "Friends." Looking out at an unfamiliar sky, Barry admits he still needs to find a way home. And somewhere in the Force, Ahsoka already senses the deeper truth. The Speed Force didn't drop him here by accident. It sent her a man who could outrun time itself, and it's going to leave her with a lesson that speed alone never wins the fight that matters most. And that's what would have happened if the Flash faced Ahsoka Tano.